In the previous podcast, we discussed how pruning is used to manage mature trees and reduce risk. Now we're shifting focus to one of the most critical stages in a tree's life, planting. Because no matter how well we prune or maintain a tree later, if it is planted incorrectly, it will struggle from the very beginning. Tree planting is one of the most common arboricultural practices, but it is also one of the most frequently done incorrectly. And those early mistakes can affect a tree for its entire life. So today, we're going to focus on how to get planting right from the start. Let's begin with one of the most important concepts, site selection. Before a tree is ever planted, the site must be evaluated. This includes soil conditions, available space, sunlight, drainage, and potential conflicts with infrastructure. Urban environments often present limited rooting space, compacted soils, and competition with utilities. Selecting a species that is appropriate for the site is critical. The phrase right tree, right place is fundamental in arboriculture. A tree that outgrows its space will create long-term maintenance issues and may eventually need to be removed. Now let's talk about the planting hole. A common misconception is that deeper holes are better. In reality, planting depth is one of the most critical factors in tree survival. Trees should be planted so that the root flare is visible at the soil surface. The root flare is the point where the trunk transitions into roots. If a tree is planted too deeply, the trunk may remain buried, leading to poor oxygen exchange and increased risk of decay. In many nursery trees, the root flare is not immediately visible. Soil or container media may need to be removed to locate it. This step is often overlooked, but it is essential. The planting hole should be wide, not deep. A wide hole loosens the surrounding soil and allows roots to expand outward more easily. The depth should match the height of the root ball. Planting too deep is one of the most common and harmful mistakes. Next, let's discuss backfilling. In most cases, the soil that was removed from the hole should be used as backfill. Adding excessive amendments can create differences between the planting hole and surrounding soil. This can discourage roots from growing outward. The goal is to encourage roots to establish into the native soil. Now let's look at mulching. Mulch is extremely beneficial when applied correctly. It helps retain soil moisture, moderate temperature, and reduce competition from weeds. However, mulch must be applied properly. It should be placed in a ring around the tree, ideally 2 to 4 inches deep. It should not be piled against the trunk. This is often referred to as a mulch volcano. Mulch against the trunk can lead to moisture buildup, decay, and pest problems. Now let's talk about watering. Newly planted trees require consistent watering during the establishment period. This period may last 1 to 3 years depending on species and site conditions. Watering should be deep and infrequent, rather than shallow and frequent. The goal is to encourage roots to grow deeper into the soil. Staking is another consideration. Not all trees require staking. Staking may be necessary in areas with strong winds or unstable soil. However, excessive or improper staking can limit trunk movement. Movement is important because it helps the tree develop strength. If staking is used, it should be temporary and removed as soon as the tree is stable. Finally, let's connect planting to long-term outcomes. A properly planted tree has a much higher chance of survival. It establishes faster, grows stronger, and requires less corrective maintenance. An improperly planted tree may struggle for years. It may develop structural problems, decline prematurely, or fail entirely. For the ISA Urban Forest Professional Exam, understand the fundamentals of proper planting. You should know the importance of site selection, the concept of right tree, right place, proper planting depth and root flare visibility, the role of wide planting holes, correct mulching techniques, and the basics of watering and staking. Many questions will focus on identifying common planting mistakes. Tree planting is the foundation of the urban forest. Every tree that will one day provide shade, cooling, and environmental benefits starts at this stage. Getting it right from the beginning makes everything that follows more successful. In the next podcast, we'll continue building on this by exploring soil management and how soil conditions directly influence tree health and long-term survival. You've been listening to the Arborist-podcast. Our goal is to grow our collective knowledge, one domain at a time. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to help us keep this momentum. Until next time, let's keep growing this community together.